Dear distinguished guests, before kicking off this presentation, let me first introduce myself and the company I represent. I serve as a senior research analyst at Intermodal Shipbrokers, a leading shipbroking firm in Greece with a history spanning 40 years. Our diversified operations cover S&P, chartering, financial advisory, marine services, repairs and conversions, along with research and valuations. We also take pride in serving a niche clientele that includes world-class ship owners and well-established financial institutions. My professional journey includes experience in the shipbuilding sector, and I've since transitioned to focusing my research on the dynamics of energy markets. I am profoundly honored to be a part of this conference today, and through my research and today's discussion, I hope to contribute valuable insights into the crucial topic of decarbonizing the shipping industry. Let's begin by setting the context. As we're all aware, shipping contributes to carrying 80% of international trade and is considered one of the most energy-efficient modes of transportation in terms of mass cargo carried per distance. However, its environmental impact cannot be ignored. The industry contributes to 4% of energy consumption in all transport sectors and is responsible for 2.89% of global greenhouse gas emissions, with projections indicating a significant increase by 2050. Regulatory measures like the IMO 2020 sulfur cap and the EEXI have already been introduced, affecting OPEX of the fleet. Fast forward to the summer of 2023, the IMO has set even more ambitious targets, cutting the sector's total greenhouse gas emissions by at least 50% by 2050 compared to 2008 levels. However, I understand that all attendees are already well-versed in the regulatory landscape, so I will not delve into those specifics further. Rather, I believe we can all agree that these new targets signal that the maritime sector is at a critical crossroads. The urgency for rapid decarbonization is not just regulatory, but also shaped by an evolving commercial landscape, consumer expectations, public scrutiny, and broader sustainability goals. Still, the road to decarbonization is fraught with ambiguity, and it is at this point that we must widen our lens to consider the global dynamics at play. Less than 0.5% of the active fleet was recycled in 2022. An aging fleet profile, currently averaging 22.2 years, partly signifies cautious investment strategies, as some ships are too antiquated for retrofitting, but not old enough to warrant scrapping. New regulations will weigh the supply-demand fundamentals and could potentially create market upside volatility via lower speeds, increased demolition, uneven fleet renewal, and more complex charter and S&P markets. Yet, to meet IMO's targets, a switch to alternative fuels is inevitable. Each alternative has its pros and cons, influenced by factors like supply engine, technology, environmental performance, and cost. Moreover, characteristics like energy density and storage temperature will affect its fuel's economic feasibility and may even impact cargo carrying capacity. However, these alternative fuels currently make up only 1.2% of the global fuel mix, primarily comprising LNG. By 2030, at least 5% of the international shipping fuel mix must consist of zero-emission fuels. Achieving this requires overcoming challenges such as technological readiness, scalability, and regulatory uncertainty. Ultimately, the choice of alternative fuel will involve a complex evaluation of multiple factors. From a financial perspective, the road to decarbonization is steep. Cutting shipping emissions by half by 2050 could necessitate an investment of up to $1.4 trillion, according to the latest estimates by the United Nations. This includes a need for an annual investment of between $8 to $28 billion for ships and $28 billion to $90 billion onshore for infrastructure. These investments could raise annual fuel costs by over $100 billion, representing an up to 100% increase from today's figures. These increased fuel costs will subsequently be translated into increased freight rates and relevant transportation costs. After laying out the general financial landscape and the challenges that the shipping industry faces on its path to decarbonization, it's important to dig a little deeper to understand how these trends and costs are manifesting on a vessel-by-vessel basis. To provide you with a more detailed perspective, let's examine two specific case studies that will illustrate the financial complexities associated with new-built and second-hand vessels. Please note that the figures presented are calculated based on current fuel prices and operational costs. However, under the shadow of fluctuating geopolitical landscape, past instances have shown that fuel prices and maritime fundamentals can experience radical shifts. This volatility can transform what was initially a profitable investment into a financial liability. Consider a hypothetical case study involving a 10-year-old operational Aframax tanker. Initially powered by a diesel engine, the ship owner considered retrofitting the vessel to align with IMO's updated regulations. The retrofit comprised an upgrade to an LNG dual-fuel engine and a new storage system for LNG. This transition incurred an upfront cost of $9.8 million, but led to an annual OPEX saving of about 7.1%. Even though the new system brought about an increase in specialized maintenance costs, the combined OPEX savings and the environmental benefits rendered this a financially and environmentally sound project for the ship owner. Let's pivot our focus to another hypothetical scenario involving a new Aframax vessel. The ship owner was faced with two propulsion system options, a traditional diesel engine or a dual-fuel LNG engine. The LNG option demands an additional 10.2% in initial capex over the $65 million for the diesel engine. However, the LNG-operated ship should have a total operational saving of $17.5 million over 25 years. The payback period for the extra initial investment would be approximately 10 years. Environmentally, the LNG option reduces CO2 and NOx emissions by 20% and 80% respectively. Also, considering this vessel is liable for EU carbon tax, this could result in annual savings of $400,000 per year, making LNG more economically viable in the long term. This situation emphasizes the complex elements ship owners must consider when settling on a fueling system. But now let's delve a little deeper into the quantitative metrics to get a clearer picture of the progress made thus far. According to our most recent data, spanning January to September 2023, a notable uptick in orders for ships with alternative fuel capabilities has been observed. Specifically, out of the total vessels ordered this year, approximately 35.8% are set to operate on alternative fuels. This includes 139 LNG-powered vessels, 109 capable of using methanol, and 37 designed for LPG. Additionally, 73 new units are expected to feature battery hybrid propulsion systems. Comparatively, these figures signify a remarkable increase. In 2022, about 27.5% of all new orders were for ships with alternative fuel capabilities. And for a more comprehensive perspective, back in 2021, only 21.1% of the newly ordered vessels were alternative fuel capable, which itself was a leap from just 50 orders back in 2016. Turning our attention to the current fleet, we observe that 1.5% of the world fleet is already equipped for or capable of alternative fuel use, an increase of 0.36% since the start of 2022. Beyond alternative fuels, energy-saving technologies are being implemented more widely. Over 6,938 ships, accounting for 30.1% of the fleet's total tonnage, now feature advanced energy-saving technologies, ranging from propeller ducts to air lubrication systems. Meanwhile, scrubber installation has increased in new builds, even as retrofitting has slowed down, currently being fitted or set to be fitted on 5,445 ships, accounting for 4.97% of the world fleet. The age profile of the fleet is a factor that can't be ignored either. The global fleet's average age has increased to 22.2 years. Nearly half of the global fleet is now over 15 years old, posing challenges and opportunities for decarbonization strategies. As for the overall order book, it constitutes around 11% of the fleet capacity, although there are sector-specific variations. In terms of port infrastructure, there is encouraging progress too. 181 active LNG bunkering ports exist, with 89 more in the planning stage. Moreover, 1,971 ships are now equipped or soon to be equipped with shore power capabilities. In conclusion, while the industry is making strides in adopting cleaner technologies, the pace must accelerate to meet regulatory and sustainability goals. The data underscores not just the progress, but also the extent of the work that lies ahead. Shipyards play a critical role in steering the maritime industry towards sustainability, overseeing everything from innovative ship design to responsible recycling at end of life. These entities are not just builders, but pioneers in facilitating maritime decarbonization. On the other hand, current shipyard capabilities are stretched thin, leading to long queues and escalating construction costs. Since the financial downturn, there's been a significant contraction in global shipyard capabilities. While consolidation has narrowed down the number of active shipyards from around 700 in 2007 to approximately 300 in 2023, the industry is now tasked with constructing or retrofitting over 3,500 ships each year until 2050, a feat not seen since 2010, when 2,700 vessels were built annually. Furthermore, the majority of global shipbuilding capabilities are concentrated in a few key groups in China, South Korea, and Japan. Environmental guidelines, energy-saving innovations, and the shift to alternative fuels are increasing dependence on a select set of builders. As a result, smaller shipyards face difficulties in securing orders due to shifts in ordering patterns, placing additional stress on larger yards that have been fully booked for years. Operational challenges abound, including technological limitations, high upfront costs for sustainability, and evolving regulations. Economic volatility and supply chain issues add another layer of complexity. Shipyards must also upgrade infrastructure to accommodate green technologies and forge strategic partnerships for broader advances. As we approach 2024, uncertainty in global fleet trends persists. Lower levels of the global ship order book could limit fleet growth, especially as existing ships age and slow down to meet IMO standards. This scenario exacerbates concerns about a shortfall in shipping capacity, especially given the limited capabilities of major shipbuilding yards. Under these market fundamentals, it's crucial to consider the perspectives of those directly impacted by these changes, our clients. Based on the feedback we have received from several ship owners, there appears to be a range of opinions regarding shipyards' readiness to contribute to the decarbonization of shipping. Many of our clients have expressed a sense of disconnect between the innovation promised by shipyards and the final product. They feel that new ship designs often amount to minor adjustments to meet regulatory standards, rather than groundbreaking innovation. This sentiment is particularly strong among operators of smaller vessels who find that shipyards often fail to provide custom solutions tailored to their specific needs. On the flip side, stakeholders in the shipbuilding industry argue that innovation is a shared responsibility. They suggest that additional financial incentives are needed to motivate shipyards to push the boundaries of design further. Additionally, the transition towards smarter, more sustainable vessels involves a collective effort that goes beyond shipyards. It encompasses regulatory policies, development of fuel infrastructure, charter commitments, and innovations introduced by original equipment manufacturers. Against this backdrop of doubt and uncertainty, however, it's crucial to spotlight the remarkable progress spearheaded by Korean shipyards. Not only have they navigated these challenges, but they've also seized them as avenues for innovation and leadership. This leadership is particularly evident in their commitment to alternative fuel technologies. An impressive 76% of their order book is dedicated to alternative fueled ships. This innovation rate substantially outpaces their nearest competitors, with Chinese and Japanese shipyards lagging at 32% and 14% respectively. In tandem with these endeavors, the Korean government has worked to establish a comprehensive strategic roadmap for the maritime industry, encapsulated in the 2023 Action Plan from the Ministry of Ocean and Fisheries. This master plan emphasizes the crucial contribution Korean shipyards are set to make in steering the industry towards sustainable practices. Korean shipyards are pioneering sustainable maritime technologies, particularly in the development of zero-emission vessels, using hydrogen fuel cells and ammonia propulsion systems. They're also innovating in dual-fuel technologies and energy-efficient ship designs, offering both standard and customized solutions. In collaboration with the government, they're improving infrastructure, including green fuel supply chains and specialized refueling stations. These initiatives not only aim to reduce the shipping industry's carbon footprint, but also position Korea as a global leader in the emerging market for sustainable ships. So, as we look towards the future, let's take a moment to acknowledge these remarkable milestones, which will be further detailed in the next slide. Korean shipyards are not just responding to the challenges, they are shaping the future of sustainable shipping. In conclusion, the path to a sustainable maritime future is laden with challenges, but also ripe with opportunities. From the financial implications of adopting new technologies, as highlighted in my case studies, to the pioneering work done by Korean shipyards, I've covered a broad spectrum of key issues. The data and examples presented today are part of our ongoing research. I invite all attendees to further explore these pressing topics in the comprehensive reports that we produce, offering in-depth analysis and actionable recommendations. Should you wish to discuss any of these matters in greater detail, I am available for follow-up conversations via email or pre-arranged meetings. I would like to extend my sincere thanks for your attention and your vested interest in addressing this critical issue that confronts our industry. Finally, I'd like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Kevin Oates and Mr. Andrew Oates for providing me with the opportunity to speak at this esteemed conference today. 감사합니다.